It was November 19th, 2006, a quiet, chilly afternoon in Littleton, Colorado. A 33-year-old woman named Lieutenant Nonnie Dotson, a proud member of the U.S. Air Force and a dedicated nurse, walked out of her brother's home, saying she was heading to a nearby shopping center. She never came back. At the time, Nonnie was just months away from completing her military service. She was a devoted mother, a fighter, and someone her family described as the heart of their home. But what began as an ordinary visit soon turned into a mystery that has haunted her loved ones for nearly 2 decades. Nonnie's life had always been a story of resilience. Born on June 29, 1973, alongside her twin brother, Beau, she grew up in a loving family that saw her overcome challenges from an early age. At just 8 years old, Nonnie was diagnosed with cancer. The diagnosis shook the family, but Nonnie's response left everyone speechless. She told her mother, "If it's that important to you, I'll go through with the surgery." Despite being terrified, she faced it with bravery and survived. That strength became a defining part of who she was. Growing up, Nonnie loved baking, especially desserts. Family gatherings always ended with one of her creations, and she quickly became known for her sweet tooth and her sweeter personality. She also loved country dancing, laughing, and connecting with people, something that would later make her an exceptional nurse. At just 15 years old, Nonnie began working at a local nursing home. The experience would change her life forever. She fell in love with caring for people and decided she would dedicate her life to it. After high school, Nonnie put herself through nursing school, working hard to pay every penny of her tuition. Her mother remembers how something clicked in her during college. She went from being an average student to someone driven by purpose. When she graduated, she landed a job at the University of Colorado Hospital, where she worked in the transplant unit. Her compassion and dedication stood out immediately. Nonnie not only cared for patients, she became an advocate for organ donation, often speaking passionately about how one person could save so many lives. Her heart for service eventually led her to follow in her parents' footsteps, both of whom had military backgrounds. She enlisted in the U.S. Air Force using her nursing degree to serve as an officer. Her goal was simple: to serve her country and pay off her student loans. Nonnie was stationed at Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio, Texas. Those who knew her say she brought warmth to every hospital ward she worked in, balancing discipline with genuine care. And at home, she was a proud mother to a 14-month-old daughter, the light of her life. But in November 2006, while on leave, everything changed. She traveled to Littleton, Colorado, to visit her twin brother, Beau. Family members say she was in good spirits, enjoying her time away from the demands of military life. But on that cold Sunday afternoon, she told her brother she was heading out, just a short walk to a nearby shopping center. She left on foot and vanished. Hours passed, then a night, then days. No one heard from her again. When her family called police desperate for help, they were met with chilling indifference. Authorities told them she was an adult and would probably return soon. But Nonnie's family knew better. She would never disappear willingly, not without contacting her family, not without saying goodbye to her baby daughter, and certainly not missing her flight back to Texas. Something had gone terribly wrong. On November 19, 2006, Nonnie was visiting her twin brother, Beau, in Littleton, Colorado, just outside of Denver. She had been staying there for a short break before returning to her duties at Lackland Air Force Base in Texas. It was supposed to be a relaxing visit, family time, a short getaway, and a moment to breathe before finishing her service. That morning, around noon, Nonnie told her brother she was heading out to meet a friend at a nearby shopping center. She said she'd walk, and it was only a short distance away. She didn't take her car, and strangely, she left her purse, her ID, and most of her personal belongings behind. Hours passed, and Nonnie didn't return. At first, her brother assumed she might have gone out longer than planned, But as the sun began to set and the cold Colorado air rolled in, worry began to creep in. Bo tried calling her phone, but it went straight to voicemail. By nightfall, the family knew something was wrong. Nonnie was responsible and disciplined. She wasn't someone who just disappeared. But when her mother, Candace, called the police, she was told to wait. Officers said, "She's an adult, she probably just needed some time." That answer didn't sit right with Candace. Her daughter had a 14-month-old baby waiting for her back home. There was no way she would just walk away. Candace's gut told her something terrible had happened. As the first snowstorm of the season rolled through that night, Candace wanted to start searching right away, but without police support, the family had to wait. The next morning, they began their own search in the freezing cold. Days later, local authorities finally joined in. But by then, crucial time and evidence had already been lost. Nonnie Dotson, a military nurse and mother, had vanished without a trace. No witnesses, no signs of a struggle, no clues about where she went after she stepped out of that house. But as investigators dug deeper, they realized something. Nonnie might not have left willingly. A mother doesn't just walk away, Candace said. Someone knows what happened to her. When Nonnie Dotson didn't return that night or the next, her disappearance quickly turned from confusion to panic. Her family knew something was seriously wrong, but the early police response was frustratingly slow. Officers initially believed she might have gone missing voluntarily, maybe stressed, maybe wanting a break, but that didn't make sense. Nonnie was a devoted mother to her baby daughter, Savannah. She had a stable military career, a loving family, and was weeks away from finishing her Air Force service. Nothing about her life hinted at someone planning to run away. After several days, a formal search began. Dozens of volunteers combed through the wooded trails, rivers, and open fields around Littleton. Search dogs were brought in. Flyers covered every light pole and shop window. Still, nothing. Then came a strange discovery. Police learned that Nonnie's cell phone had last pinged off a tower in Waterton Canyon, a remote and rugged area not far from where she was staying. That location raised alarm. It was isolated, difficult to reach, and not a place someone would just wander to on foot. Investigators searched Waterton Canyon for days. Helicopters, drones, even mounted units scouring the area, but not a single clue was found. No shoes, no phone, no clothing, nothing. Soon, detectives began looking closer at people in Nonnie's life, particularly men she had dated or known before her. Disappearance. There was talk of a former boyfriend from Texas who reportedly hadn't taken their breakup well. Another man in Colorado claimed to have met her for coffee a few days before she vanished. But none of these leads led anywhere solid. Her brother, Bo, was questioned thoroughly, as is standard in cases involving close family, but he cooperated fully and was ruled out. As months turned into years, every possible scenario was considered. Did she leave voluntarily? Was she kidnapped by someone she knew? Or did she encounter a stranger with dark intentions on her walk that day? The Waterton Canyon clue remained the only traceable lead, and to this day, it's the one area investigators and family members believe holds the key to what happened to her. Candace. Her mother once said, "It's like she just vanished into the earth. No signs, no goodbye, no peace." The mystery deepened, and the theories grew darker. For Nonnie's family, the days following her disappearance turned into months, and those months into long, painful years. Every morning began with the same question: where is Nonnie? Her mother, Candace, refused to give up. While law enforcement interest began to fade, Candace and her son Bo started doing everything they could on their own. They printed flyers, contacted news stations, and even reached out to private investigators. Candace recalls driving through Colorado's mountain roads, staring into the dense woods, wondering if her daughter was out there somewhere, waiting to be found. "You lose part of your heart," Candace once said, "and you never get it back." The family organized search parties and awareness events. They released balloons every year on the anniversary of Nonnie's disappearance, one for each year she's been gone. It became a painful but beautiful tradition, a symbol that she's not forgotten. Meanwhile, Nonnie's daughter Savannah was growing up without her mother. Candace often said that what hurt them most was thinking of how Savannah would never truly know the woman who brought her into the world. She'll only know her through stories, Candace said. Through pictures. Through our memories. Even years later, the family continued to hope that technology, or a witness's conscience, might finally lead to answers. In 2020, Nonnie's case was reopened by Colorado authorities. Cold case detectives reviewed every lead, re-interviewed witnesses, and reanalyzed evidence with newer forensic tools, but as of today, no trace of Nonnie has ever been found. Still, her family remains determined. They keep her story alive on social media and through Project Cold Case, ensuring that no one forgets the Air Force nurse who vanished just trying to enjoy a visit home. Someone out there knows something, Candace has said repeatedly, and I just pray they find the courage to speak. For Nonnie's family, hope is the only thing stronger than heartbreak, and until they have answers, that hope will never die. As the years went on, investigators and the public began to piece together possible theories about what might have happened to Lieutenant Nonnie Dotson on that cold November day in 2006. One theory suggests that Nonnie may have been abducted by someone she knew. She left on foot in daylight, planning to walk to a nearby shopping center, a route she likely knew well. Friends say she wasn't the type to get into a stranger's car, so the possibility that someone familiar stopped her seemed plausible. Another theory involves a potential stalker or unwanted attention. As a young, outgoing military nurse, Nonnie was social and had a bright personality. Some people close to her wonder if she might have met someone during her time off. Perhaps someone who became obsessed or dangerous. There's also a darker possibility that Nonnie could have been the victim of foul play shortly after leaving the house. Her body hidden somewhere in the rugged terrain surrounding Littleton. Search dogs, helicopters, and volunteers combed through the area for weeks, but no trace was ever found. Her unused return flight and lack of phone or bank activity convinced authorities early on that she hadn't left voluntarily. Despite the uncertainty, what's never been in question is the impact she left behind. Her kindness, her courage, and her drive to help others. Those are what her loved ones remember most. Nonnie always had this light about her, her brother Bo said. Even as a kid fighting cancer, she smiled through it. That's who she was. Strong, positive, and full of heart. Every year, on the anniversary of her disappearance, her family and friends gather in both Colorado and Texas to release balloons in her memory. It's their way of saying we still remember, we still care, we're still searching. Nonnie's story has since become a reminder of the thousands of unsolved disappearances across the United States and the families who continue to live in the shadow of unanswered questions. It changes you as a person, her mother said. But we'll never stop fighting for her. Though nearly 2 decades have passed, the Dotson family's message remains the same. Nonnie deserves justice. She deserves to be found. It's been almost 20 years since Lieutenant Nonnie Dotson vanished from that quiet neighborhood in Littleton, Colorado. Yet for her family, especially her mother Candace, time has not brought peace. Only questions. Candace still keeps Nonnie's old photos in perfect condition. The Air Force portrait, the hospital ID badge, even the little baby clothes her daughter once folded for her own child. Every piece of memory is frozen in time, untouched, waiting for answers that never came. People move on, Candace once said. But for a mother, you never move on. You wake up every day hoping today will be the day someone finally tells you what happened to your little girl. Investigators say the case remains open, but without leads, it has gone painfully cold. There were no confirmed sightings, no solid suspects, and no evidence strong enough to point toward what truly happened that day. Nonnie's daughter, now grown, continues to ask questions about the mother she barely got to know. Family friends describe her as having her mother's same kind eyes, the same determination to help people, just like Nonnie did. Each year on November 19th, the family still gathers to release balloons into the sky, pink and white, Nonnie's favorite colors. As they rise into the air, they whisper the same promise they've made since 2006. We'll never stop looking. We'll never stop loving you. For Candace, the grief turned into a mission, spreading awareness about missing military members and fighting for families who've been left behind by slow investigations. She's made it her purpose to make sure Nonnie's story, and others like hers, are never forgotten. As the sun sets over Colorado, one truth remains. Nonnie Dotson was a fighter, a healer, a mother, and a daughter who gave everything she could to others. And even in her absence, her strength continues to echo through those who loved her most. If you or someone you know has any information about the disappearance of Lieutenant Nonnie Dotson, please contact the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office. Because after all these years, one question still remains unanswered. Where is Nonnie Dotson? If you believe every missing person deserves to be found, please subscribe to help bring more stories like this to light and keep their memories alive.